This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This One's Wife, the mindfuck triangulation of Harry. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There are many people that comment about This One's Wife and Harry. Some do so based upon evidence generated by the two of them. In some instances, it's as a consequence of investigative work, speaking to people that know them. In other instances, it's pure speculation. And in some instances, as we know, there are those who just make things up about them with the desperation for views and clicks. One aspect of my work is that its accuracy in relation to narcissism allows us to understand what is going on, often behind the scenes. One of the major strengths of my work, and all you need do is watch my many videos about narcissism and read my books, is that not only does it convey to you accurately the way that the narcissist behaves, but it then allows you to understand what the narcissist may well then do next, and provides you with greater understanding. Given the fact that following a detailed analysis of the evidence, we've established that This One's Wife is a narcissist, and that Harry, flawed individual that he is, remains her victim, this allows us to understand the way that she will be treating him, even though we may not have any direct evidence of that behaviour. One manipulation that she will regularly use in relation to Harry is triangulation. This is a common narcissistic manipulation. The narcissist will triangulate any victim, but often the intimate partner primary source, with events, objects, and commonly other people. And I'm going to focus on the way that This One's Wife will undoubtedly have triangulated Harry with other people, and how that has resulted in a mindfuck for the Prince of the Pink Pancakes. When This One's Wife started to seduce Harry, as we know, she used a range of different manipulations, principally revolving around the provision of lashings of spicy poontang, and also false compassion based upon his vulnerabilities, when in actual fact she was exploiting those vulnerabilities. But amongst the flattery and the praise and the support and the supposed compassion and caring, she'll have also been triangulating him. But this will have been done benignly. So, for example, because the likes of Corey Vitiello, who was in sustained devaluation when This One's Wife met Harry and thus painted black, she'll have commented unfavourably about Corey Vitiello and compared Harry favourably to him. For instance, all Corey does is talk about food, food, food. He doesn't talk about anything else. It's so boring. But you, Harry, you talk about Africa, and you talk about Invictus, and you talk about smelling your own farts. You're hilarious. Whatever it might be, her narcissism will see him as painted white, thus whatever is associated with him will be good, and because Corey Vitiello is painted black, he is frowned upon. And thus what she will do is she will have compared Harry to Corey and done so favourably. This, of course, bolsters Harry. It gives him a lift. It makes him feel special and important. And for somebody, of course, who has a chip on his shoulder about being the spare, having somebody coming along and treating him like a king by comparing him favourably with the other men that she's been involved with means that Harry falls for it. She will likely have compared him to Trevor Engelson. Oh, Trevor was too wrapped up in his career to give me much time. That's why it didn't work out. But I can sense with you, Harry, that you're a much more giving individual. Harry, of course, wants to prove that he is, and therefore confirms that's the case, showing that he's under control. Once again, he's been duped by being compared favourably to Trevor Engelson. She will have also triangulated him with, for instance, her half-brother and her father. I'm all alone in this world, Harry. I can't trust them, but I sense that I can trust you. They don't help me. They are against me. But you're my rock. I know I can always depend on you. And because father and half-brother will have been painted as black, Harry then assumes the mantle of knight in shining armour that rides in to rescue his damsel in distress. And accordingly, in the early stages of the ensnarement, because he was in the golden period and painted white, this one's wife will have referred to him in favourable terms as compared to other men in her life, and also, quite possibly, her half-sister, and maybe even her mother, but particularly the men, in an unfavourable way, thus demonstrating how they were painted black and Harry was painted white. Then, as you know, as the relationship progresses, it enters into the sustained devaluation. And the chief reason for this happening is that Harry's fuel becomes stale, because he's providing it on a daily basis, and it basically is the case that the narcissist that is this one's wife becomes bored of it. Therefore, in order to freshen it up, and perhaps allied with the fact that Harry was being a little bit difficult, that perhaps he was proving difficult to control, she then starts to devalue him, because his response by the provision of negative fuel provides a contrast to the positive fuel that he's been receiving, and thus freshens up the relationship in that way. It is at this juncture that she would have started to triangulate him unfavourably with other individuals. So if Harry doesn't do something, she might say, for instance, "Well, my dad always did this for me. I can't understand why you won't." Immediately, Harry is cast as the villain. "Trevor never spoke to me this way. He was always kind and he was always loving. He didn't shout at me like the way you've done." She drops to the floor, sobbing, one tear, left eye, go. She might draw unfavourable comparisons between Harry's performance between the sheets with a former boyfriend or partner. Is that it? Corey could go for hours, you know. You're going to have to up your game. Sometimes it will have been subtle. On other occasions it will have been blunt and direct. She will have also involved other individuals, for instance, Marcus Anderson, by triangulating Harry with him, by saying, "I'm going to go and spend the day with Marcus. At least he cares about me," with the suggestion that Harry does not. And thus she gives Harry a silent treatment by moving away from him, and also triangulating him with Marcus by suggesting that Marcus is more reliable, kinder, more fun, whatever it might be. Not only is it unpleasant for Harry to be compared unfavourably with these individuals, but the mindfuckery element is this. All of a sudden his wife has started to praise Corey when hitherto she criticised him. All of a sudden she has started to speak in glowing terms about Trevor when all she ever did was put him down. All of a sudden she started to extol the virtues of her father when hitherto all she could do was criticise him. Harry doesn't understand. Why has she gone from disliking them to liking them? He might start to doubt what he remembers. He can't understand what this shift represents. Rather than, of course, think, "I'm dealing with a narcissist and this is what narcissists do," his lack of familiarity and emotional thinking will cause him to try and put things right so that he gets back on a better footing with her. If he points out, "Hang on a second, you're now suggesting that Trevor treated you really well. All you've ever done before is moan about how career obsessed he was and how he never gave you any time," this one's wife will simply rely on the first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense and will say, "I didn't say that," thus infuriating Harry further, revising history, and causing him to wonder, is he misremembering things? So not only does he get the mindfuck of her shifting from criticising these individuals to then praising them, but when he points out this discrepancy, she denies it. Thus, it's mindfuck within mindfuck. There is no doubt whatsoever that this one's wife will have triangulated and continues to triangulate Harry with other people. with her friends, with male friends in particular, flirting with them to make Harry jealous, fearing that he's going to lose her, wanting to spend time with other people so he doesn't get the time. She'll also triangulate him with the children, talking in favourable terms about him and how silly Daddy is, talking about him through them, spending more time with them than him. It is a standard manipulation of the narcissist and is one that this one's wife will have utilised. And as you know, it's utilised to control Harry, to gain indirect control over the individual that she is triangulating him with, and to draw fuel from Harry by way of his response. Once again, understanding her narcissism allows you to understand the way that she treats people, even when there's no direct evidence of that having taken place. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.